Verse 733. The Vijnana, born of habit energy, is united with the senses. There are 8 kinds of it. They do not grasp one field all at once. The translators put a little footnote saying, not clear. But let's see. The Vijnana, born of habit energy, is united with the senses. The Vijnana is the attention. It's awareness which is directed onto things. It's awareness that is attracted to things. It's the attention, basically. It's born of habit energy. What the attention is attracted to depends on who we are, depends on our psychology, depends on our moods, depends on our sensibilities. This is the situation that we find ourselves in. In the previous verse, it's described as the world of desire. The attention is continually being prompted outwards into what appeals to it, what attracts its attention. Although some of these things aren't particularly appealing. Things like pain. Pain attracts the attention very dramatically. So the world of desire isn't perhaps the best word for it. Desire in this sense, rather technical sense I suppose, is whatever draws the attention from its essential equanimous nature. And when this happens, feelings and passions are stirred up. So it's united with the senses. I suppose we should say it's united with the idea of the senses. And these are the usual 5 senses of sight, sounds, feelings or sensations, smells and tastes. But more importantly, in Indian thought, there's also the sense of the mind. The mind is what entertains mental objects. So this is quite an important sense. And I think this idea of the 6 senses is one that we should really adopt in our general understanding. The 6th sense is normally spoken of as something mysterious, but it's not. It's one that's operating. I think perhaps in modern times we've got this prejudice that what the mind perceives, mental objects, doesn't have the same reality status as what the other 5 senses perceive. The assumption is that the 5 senses are perceiving a shared objective world. But that's an assumption. And anyway, there are ideas, mental objects, which are also regarded as part of the objective world, especially when it comes to mathematics, and physics, and ideologies, and religious beliefs, and notions of ownership, of law, of money, economics. All these are also mental objects, which we could say are perceived by the mind. So the idea that the mind is perceiving only subjective objects, whereas the other senses aren't, is a prejudice. I would say it's actually the other way around. So we need to get used to this idea of the six senses, because this is what's being referred to here. The attention, born of habit energy, is united with the senses. So there's the five senses which we relate to the physical world, and the mind sense which relates to the mental world. This is where we spend all our time when we inhabit the Kama Loka, the realm of desire, the world of desire. So these are the six senses, but we're told there are 8 kinds of it. There are 8 kinds of Vijnana. So what are the other 2? What are the other 2? Well, there are 2 ways of looking at mental objects. There's a defiled way of looking at them and an undefiled way of looking at them. The defiled way of looking at them is to think that they are real. They are the prime reality, that what we experience through our mind, through our senses, is the prime reality. The undefiled way of looking at things is to realize the nature of the awareness which is being hijacked into all these things. In other words, to recognize the reality of awareness, the prime reality of awareness. This is a choice we've got as enlightenment practitioners. We've got the option of moving from the Kama Loka, the world of desire, the world of the hijacked attention, into the Rupa Loka, which is where we can calm the attention, perhaps by just coming back to the anchor of the breathing, and through this come back to equanimity. And at this point, this is a pivotal point, we either get lost in the senses once again, or we realize with insight the true nature of this awareness. We start moving into the understanding of the Arupa Loka, which was described in the previous video. So the undefiled mind consciousness goes beyond awareness of objects, awareness of ideas, to awareness itself. And this is what grasps everything all at once. It embraces, actually, rather than grasps, it embraces the field of experiencing as one thing, rather than is made up of lots of different sense experiences. So this is what's indicated by the last phrase, they do not grasp one field all at once. The individual senses just give you fragments. The visual fragment, or the visual mode, the sonic mode, the feeling mode, taste, touch mode, the mental mode. Then we've got that pivotal mode, which is the mode of the awakening mind, which can then move from being lost in all the different modes of awareness into awareness itself, into the realization of awareness itself. At this point, there is simply the field of experiencing going on. There's nobody experiencing it. There's nothing to be experienced. There's simply the field of experiencing. There's simply all of this that is going on. There is simply this, the presence of the world, which is mind itself.